Well, hey everyone, good evening. Well, good afternoon, but it is headed toward evening. It is a beautiful day. There's no sun in my face. It's not hot. It's breezy. I'm loving the wind and cold weather. You know, this is just great. And I'm just chilling here in the car. I just wanted to update you guys on what I am doing now. Let me see, let me change that. Okay. So I went to my second doctor's appointment and he told me he does not want me taking a statin. He explained why. And he said, and I don't want you taking the COQ10, whatever you call it. And so he explained to me that I made a mistake by seeing this new doctor, that I should have stuck with Ross. And he said that this new doctor was just he was just judging based on my past results and these results. He doesn't know my history. And he said, you know, it was a mistake for me to increase my progesterone without talking to Ross. And I know that to be true because I didn't feel right. You know, I didn't feel well and I didn't feel right. So I talked to this new doctor and I told him that there was a reason why Ross had me on 100 milligrams and that 200 made me feel really bad. And he was like, okay, perfect. Then 100 milligrams it is. You know, and you know, guys, I'm sharing this because this is a valuable lesson that I needed to learn again. Convenience is not always the answer. I was looking forward to this new doctor.
New text message from +1 86650800310.
Oops, sorry. That was the car letting me know I had a text message. So it's like, oh wow, a bird just flew up through that vent. So I know there's birds' nest all up in these vents here. And it just flew out. Cute. But anyway, so as we look around, I don't want to just keep the camera just on one thing, but that's it, guys. That's it. I learned my lesson. You know, convenience. I was like, oh, this guy will call me on his cell phone at 5 o'clock in the evening. I don't have to be awakened out of my sleep. I don't have to wait for Ross. You know, I can just deal with this guy right here who works for Ross in his Nevada office. That was very foolish of me, guys, because this doctor doesn't know me from Adam. He doesn't know my history. You know what I mean? And I felt weird after the phone call was over. And my primary care doctor said that the doctor was wrong for prescribing Jardians for me. He said that's illegal. He said, you don't have type 2 diabetes. He said, you're 6.1, you need 6.6. And he said, why would he prescribe Jardians for you? And he said, and I told him, I said, you know, something wasn't right. And I did not pick up any medication until I talked to him first. And so he's like, do not take that statin. Do not take the CQ10. He said the reason why he prescribed the CQ10 was because he knew that the statin would cause muscle weakness and stuff. And he lied to you when he said that there is no side effects for taking a statin. None whatsoever. He said that is not true. He said, Google it. There are side effects to taking statins. He said, I don't like this guy. He's new, he's young, and he's just being lazy, just trying to give you prescriptions. And he said, no. He said, we have been dealing with your cholesterol lately. And he said, you just need to cut out potatoes. He said, you can have 2 slices of keto bread a day, like he's always said, but no more potatoes, no more soups that have potatoes in it. And I want you to keep your carb level, your starchy carb level at 50, and work your way downward. You know, he said, if you normally eat a tuna sandwich and you eat 10 reduced fat potato chips, eat 5. And I want you to keep going down, you know. And, you know, if you can't eat tuna without it being on bread, then fine. Figure out how you want to do it. And then if you decide you want to eat a lean cuisine spaghetti, look at it and see how many carbs is in it. And make sure that you keep your carbs. He said the maximum carbs I want you to have right now is 60. And work your way downward, like every week or every other week or something like that. And he said, and just watch the difference. He said, just watch how your blood work will change. And he said, just watch and see, you know. And he said, this doctor that is like, I'm just going to put you back on Mounjaro is an easy way out, you know. And he's like, I know you like Mounjaro. I know it worked miracles for you. He's like, but I just need you to trust me. And he, you know, he was like, don't beat yourself up. Pick yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. Pick yourself up. I love this. Don't beat yourself up. Pick yourself up. I'm going to put that on a post. So that's what I'm going to do. So yesterday was the last of the potatoes. That I'm going to definitely cut out. Like no French fries, no baked potato, no rice, no sweet potato, no starches. Unless it is in like a lean cuisine meal and the starch is going to be low. And also 2 slices of 647 bread a day. And that's 1 sandwich. And he's like, well, if you want 3 slices of bread, then you better not eat anything else. He's like, I just need you to keep it under 60. That's the max I can give you. And I was like, okay. And then my blood pressure went up. So he increased my blood pressure medication. So I'm sitting here in the car waiting for them to say that my blood pressure medicine is ready. And then I can just go drive and pick it up. So that is the update on my health situation. You know, I know that diet and exercise is just the key for everything. Food can be a healing, you know, it can be a healing for you. It's just really, really hard because when you eat a burger, you eat fries. When you eat grilled cheese, you eat soup, or you eat, it's just like certain foods you're so accustomed with it, burgers and fries, BLT or cold cut sandwich and chips. You know, it's like you're so used to those things, and it's so weird when you eat it opposite. And it's like, who eats a burger without a burger bun? That doesn't even correlate in my mind, to have a burger and then have lettuce and tomatoes and onions and pickles and relish and sugar-free relish and sugar-free ketchup and all that other kind of stuff. And then you take a fork and bite into it, you know, as opposed to biting into it with a burger or wrapping it in lettuce, you know, burger bun. But yeah, so my doctor is like, sugar-free relish, sugar-free ketchup, and sugar-free mustard and stuff like that. When I put mustard or mayo or any sauces or condiments on my sandwich, I don't put much. So I'm not gonna go out of my way to go buy sugar-free or maybe no sugar added ketchup, because I don't eat it like that much, you know. But to totally live a sugar-free life is like impossible for me. I mean, I need the allowance of some sugars, you know, because sugars are in stuff. I'm sure there's sugars in my lean cuisine meal. I am sure that there is sugars in my relish, you know. I just want to keep it minimalized, you know, like, I mean, I use sugar-free Thai sauce. I use no sugar added stuff, you know, but my ketchup is just all organic ketchup. I got to check and see how much sugars is in it, but it's a nuisance. It's a pain in the ass. And I'm not going to lie to you. It is. Counting this and counting that all the time. Never just being able to just eat and enjoy yourself. Not anymore. You know, not anymore. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm in the mood for some journaling. I am definitely in the mood to release this feeling of incredible. Oh, there's a bee. I don't know, you guys can't see it, but yeah. So the lawn is looking kind of rough. We got to get some stuff. Well, they did put fresh mulch out, but we got to get some stuff going on here. It's looking kind of rough over here. But yeah, so I'm just pretending like you guys are just sitting here in the car with me, and we're just chilling and we're just looking. So I don't think I can wait out here much longer for my medication. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stay parked here. It's starting to rain. Yay! And we're going to do some therapy, and I'll see you guys inside. Bye. For now. Hold on. I mean, like, I'm not ending the video. I'm just going to see you in the next clip. But yeah, I'm going to see you in the next clip. But what I did do is I set an appointment with Ross, okay? And I'm going to tell Ross everything that this man, Neelish, had prescribed for me. And I'm going to see what Ross has to say. You know what I mean? I'm going to let him know that this new doctor that is working in his Nevada office wanted to prescribe for me, or prescribed for me, Jardiance and this statin that begins with the letter R, and I can't pronounce it. And he wanted me to take CQ10. He knew that statins had side effects, and that's why he prescribed the CQ10. He just didn't want to tell me. He literally lied to me. You know, that's what my primary care physician said. He said this is why he set this up, because he knew that statin causes this to happen and that to happen. He just didn't want to scare me. He just blew it over, you know. So I'm glad that the Lord looked out for me, and I didn't jump the gun. I waited until I could talk to my primary care physician, who I've been with for years and who knows me and is familiar with everything about me, and who also is a patient of Ross. You know, Ross is also my primary care physician's doctor. So, you know, they all work together. But this new guy that I went to, that was really a bad move on my part. And I own up to that. All for convenience, you know. And I think there was also some fear, guys. I think there was fear that I didn't want to hear what Ross had to say. I know that he's going to be displeased with my blood work, and I know that it's just going to be another one of those conversations where I'm going to feel like I let him down because I didn't do better. My blood work is worse than the previous one. And I didn't want that accountability. And that was why I said, oh, I'll take this new guy from the Nevada office who can call me at 5 o'clock in the evening and blah, 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 blah. You know, and that was a kick in the butt. So I thank Jesus for, you know, showing me, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Accountability is so important. It's so important. And he was there. He was there the whole time, you know. And it's like, I don't need this guy to give me Manjaro. Ross will give me Manjaro. You know, heck, Craig, my primary care physician, will give me Manjaro if I have type 2 diabetes, you know. But it's just like this guy saying, you're probably going to have type 2 diabetes in 3 months. So we're going to do more blood work in 3 months to see if you have type 2 diabetes. Just keep on doing what you're doing. You know, I knew that was whack myself, but I'm like, if you want to check me in 3 months, that's fine. You can check me in 3 months. I have no problem, you know, going and getting more blood work done. That's good for me, because that helps with my accountability. So I got 3 months to stop eating potatoes and to decrease, you know, to keep those carbs going lower and lower. And we'll see how it turns up in 3 months. So if this is July, you know, and then, hey, maybe I can schedule another appointment with my primary care physician and see, you know. But as long as the blood work is improving, you know, I'll be fine. That's the whole point of this. You know, they always wanted me to go every 4 months with blood work, and I would go like every 6 months, because I didn't want to deal with the doctors. I didn't want to deal with accountability. I just didn't want my day interrupted talking to a doctor or having to go to a doctor, you know. So shame on me. Shame. You know, but I'm good. God is good. And even in the midst of my error, he is still moving and manipulating and working things out for my good. And I give him all the glory, I give him all the honor, and I give him all the praise. I have never had fat in my liver, and there is a very small percentage of fat in my liver. And he said, that's starch. He said, Pam, that's all that is that starch. Just stop it. You know, he said, just stop it. He said, French fries, I don't care if they're baked French fries. He said, I don't care if they're air fried French fries. He said, stop it. You know, and he said, you'll also see a decrease in bloating by not eating potatoes. You know, he said, just leave it alone, you know. So that's a definite. Baked potato, French fries, and rice and sweet potatoes are definitely out cold turkey. But the reduced fat potato chips that I eat with a sandwich is like, instead of 10 chips, just 5 chips. You know, if you do 20 chips, then do 10 chips. I just want you to reduce and start reducing and reducing, and eat soup with a sandwich instead of chips. Eat soup, or, you know, that type of thing. You know, what else can I eat with a sandwich that isn't toxic? You know, it used to be Jell-O, but I'm not eating that garbage. But I like to have something with my sandwich, because just a sandwich alone is not going to work. You know, I need to have soup with it. You know, so he said, well, eat your soup, but I don't want you having soup that's got like potatoes in it. You know, go and look. I love wedding soup. I love barley soup. He's like, okay, well, look and see what the carb is for the soup, you know, and do it that way. And he's like, you know, you got to find something healthy to go with that sandwich, you know. And so we'll see. We shall see. All right. So for real, let's go and do some journaling. Guys, we are in the house and we are in the kitchen. And as you can see, it is still a beautiful day. No sunlight, no heat. A few carpenter bees flying around, and I am loving it. So I just wanted to share with you row 1, row 2, and row 3, and then go low. And so my new row 1 will not cause me to be nauseous. Row 2 will cause me to be nauseous. So lunch is going to be the meal where I have my carbs, my keto bread sandwich, 5 potato chips, no more than 6 of the reduced fat chips. And then, and of course with a big salad or maybe some vegetable soup. But even then with vegetable soup, I still have to count the carbs that are in it because it's going to be a starchy vegetable. And this is to help sustain me. And then the last row of the day is with a lean cuisine meal. And it's just going to be the spaghetti and meatballs. It's always going to be the spaghetti and meatballs. That's the only thing. Or their pizza. And, of course, that will be the only carbs. And then I will take this. Hopefully, I will not get nauseous if I stick to this plan and this meal plan that I'm getting from the doctor. And shout out to Jody because she also gave me a really good meal plan. But he wants me to wean myself, like I said earlier. And if I get nauseous, instead of reverting to these chips, that's hairy stuff, by the way. These are Stacy's pita chips. That the ingredients are good. I mean, there's not a lot of processed garbage in here. It's not as bad. You know what I mean? But it is enriched wheat flour, but everything else you can see is just not bad stuff at all. But 9 chips is 19 carbs. And then you got to count calories too. You know, you got to count calories. You got to count fat. You got to count carbs. You know, but it's a pain in the tail. It's confusing. It's aggravating. It's frustrating. It's everything under the sun. But they are just there for, like, if I really got to put something in my mouth. And I got the jalapeno because the flavor is so strong. But my thing now is just put seasoning on your tongue. So hold on, let me show you. Just put this on my tongue, you know? If I feel like I need something where my flavor isn't feeling right and I'm having that nausea, instead of eating chips, just remember to put this on my tongue. The point is, remember. And push come to shove, I can always eat, like, allow myself enough where I can have maybe a couple of 2 spoonfuls of, oats. And I don't want to revert to that because oats are high in calorie and they are high in carbs. So maybe even just eating 2 spoonfuls of oatmeal, you know, might not be a bad idea, but might be a bad idea. So today for my first meal, I had chicken breast and I used this sugar-free Thai chili sauce, which I absolutely love. And for flavor, I also had this Minute Maid Zero Sugar, which I don't drink often, but I do drink it. So these are just different alternatives that I'm taking. Foods like to keep you feeling comfortable and not bloated, and foods that will keep you content and not nauseous. You know, I don't know how long this chicken breast is going to hold up because I just ate the chicken breast and the whatchamajiggy. But we'll see. I'm taking it meal by meal, not day by day, not looking at it in the whole spectrum because it's overwhelming and it's frightening, it's frustrating, it's confusing, it's irritating, you know, to just make such life-altering changes. But it's in the blood work, right? So, but we are a household. We don't keep potatoes, but we do keep French fries in the freezer. We do keep crackers because we love to eat tuna and dip it in crackers. I can't have crackers anymore. No kind of crackers. And so it is what it is. But check this out. We keep bread. And we have more bread than that. You know, we keep bread. Alrighty, we are back. So let me get the lights going and get things set up. And we are going to jump into today's Happy Mail. And we are not going to think about other things. All right. So let me get myself situated, y'all. So, yep, that is what it is about. He told me, like I said, don't beat yourself up, pick yourself up. I'm going to write that down. And that's what I'm going to do. I still have, you know, I still have hope. And I still have my strength and, you know, trying to nip this thing in the bud before it gets worse. Because it has been getting worse. So, we got my new doctor's appointments all set up. And my blood pressure medicine is ready. And I'll pick that up tonight. And we're headed in the right direction. Let's just say that. We are headed in the right direction. All we need now is just for me to lay off the majority of the starches that I eat. And keep it, you know, keep them starches out of the picture as much as possible. All right, so we got this from Happy Planner. Let me move this down a little bit. So there we go. So I have been wanting this, but it was finally on sale. And I was like, okay, this is my opportunity to get it. And I just thought that the cover was just pretty. That's all. And I know I said I wasn't getting any more journals, especially a Happy Planner journal. It's an A5. The paper is extremely heavy. And you only get 80 sheets, and 160 GSM is just a little bit too heavy for me. This is great for Dutch doors, though. Really good for Dutch doors. But I just wanted the cover, and for the price, I couldn't beat it. And look at that. Look at those pretty hearts. Maybe I need to lift you guys up a little bit. Just a tad. All right. So there's that. These are the these are like stuck in here. All right, you guys have seen these before. So this time I didn't get many stickers this time, but I like the feel. You know, it's like they improved the paper quality. I'm glad that this is not clear or glossy. I'm glad that this is paper that you can write on, because if you guys remember Happy Planner journals, you get these, but you get extra, you get another sheet. You get 2 sheets of florals, and then you get this. But the paper quality was bad. It was like glossy, and you had to use a flare to write on it. They improved the paper and decreased the amount of stickers, which is fine with me, because I want something that I can really be happy using as opposed to just putting it down and forcing myself to use it because I paid for it. This I can actually use, and it smells good too. So I'm glad that they improved on the paper quality. That means a lot to me, because I can use it happily. So this is pretty. I hope that you guys are also taking advantage of these sales that is going on with Happy Planner. Now, I do have another Happy Planner order. I burned my nail. Gosh. All right. But these, I have one more order. One or 2 more orders. This is the Breathe in Gratitude, Exhale Praise. Okay, breathe in gratitude, exhale praise. I love that. I love that. Let me make sure. All right, I get comfortable, and when I get comfortable, you guys, then you guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm comfortable and you're not. You're not going to be comfortable because you're not going to be able to see everything. All right, so there we go. Why did I get this? I got it because it was on sale. And I got it because I thought how interesting it might be to have this out in the living room. And where would the first page look like? So the first page looks like this. And it says weekly gratitude. I want to kind of bring you in down a little further so you guys can really see. Okay. All right, there we go. So you have week of and weekly gratitude, affirmations for this week, and all of this right here, reflections. And look at this. One thing I'm grateful for, what I want to achieve today, how I can set myself up for success today. And I want to keep this in the kitchen, today's mantra. Not in the kitchen, in the dining room. Because if I keep this in the bedroom and I fill it out, I'm going to go about my day. But if I have it out there in the living room, on the dining room table, where food is, that will help. You know, I don't want to keep it in the kitchen where it can get messed up. But I like this because I want to use this as a tool for better eating habits. So I like this. And I'm going to use pencil on this because I want to be able to, I mean, once this book is gone, it's gone. It's probably stupid to use pencil, really, but I will use pencil. But once this book is done, it's done, you know. It's as simple as that. I could easily take screenshot and print some of these pages, you know. But this is a lot. And look, oh, look at here. Okay, today's priorities. Okay, I thought it said today's scriptures. I don't have my glasses on. All right, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to take it one day at a time, one step at a time. And I think I'm going to use pencil for this because I want to be able to erase. And I don't want to use an erasable pen. I just want to use pencil. All right, now, but you know what the mantra is? And it's not for today. It is for the rest of this year. Don't beat yourself up. Pick yourself up. And I'm going to be honest with you. He didn't say the pick yourself up part. I added that on there. He said, you beat yourself up too much. You know, and I'm like, well, you don't beat me up enough. And then later on, I was like, okay, pick yourself up. So we both have to take credit for that. Don't beat yourself up. Pick yourself up. I'm going to keep saying that. You too. If you have a habit of beating yourself up, do that. Okay. Your mind and your body. Rest. Rest your body and your mind. All right, guys. Here we go. I forgot what this is, but we're going to do it. 5 things I'm currently loving. 1 area I would like to grow in this week. Little things that bring me joy. Simple ways to be kinder to others this week. All right. How am I doing today? Accomplishments I am proud of. Lessons learned today. Excuse me. Daily gratitude. Time for me to grab a drink. Here we go with that voice again, that throat. Froggy. Froggy is hopping. Okay, and then we have my attitude today. Goals for a healthier me. Mental or physical exercise that helped me today. Daily doodle. And then it repeats itself. So I'm liking this. This is another tool. So this is great. This is a very good happy mail. Let's see. I have another order that's coming, and I think it's just 2 sticker books. I don't think it's anything really big. So I'm glad these books came today, especially these 2. because I really want to start writing in them, especially this one right here. This one that I'm going to keep. I'm going to actually keep them. I don't know. I might just keep one here on the desk. I don't know. But let's go through this. I'm going to answer a couple of questions with you guys. One thing I'm grateful for. Oh, look, you can put your mood. But one thing I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the love of Jesus. That he loves me so much that he tends to the most minute or most small things, that he pays attention to the details of my life. And that what pain I feel, he feels. So he's always able to relate to me. What I want to achieve today, I want to achieve discipline. And I plead the blood of Jesus over my lack of self-discipline. And I want to, not just the lack of self-discipline, but I want to achieve better endurance. And guys, to be honest with you, if you're not feeling nauseous, all right, let me put it to you that way. If you are not feeling nauseous, okay, you can starve yourself, you can eat healthy so much easier. It was so easy for me before the menopausal transition came upon me. I didn't have the nausea problems that I have now. And so for me, it's just, that's what makes it so hard for me, because I force myself to eat when I'm not hungry because of that. And I've explained that to you guys in 1,000,001 times. The starchy the carbs that help me, you know, and I got to, I gotta figure out a way to fight through it. The nausea is terrible and it lasts for days. So I've got to figure out a way where I am eating 3 hearty meals a day without going over 1,200 calories and getting protein in. And I'm thinking that, you know, a protein shakes would be the answer, you know, to try to get, you know, but I don't know. I'm just giving you guys thoughts. I don't know. It all depends on how my body feels. It really, really does. If I don't feel nauseous, then yeah, we can make this work, you know, but how long is this chicken breast going to hold me? How long is this chicken breast going to hold me? I should have made eggs with it. You know, so I feel like meal number 1 was an incomplete meal because all I had was chicken breast, right? So I'm feeling like, I need to make some eggs. Maybe I can scramble some egg whites because that will lessen the amount of calories. Put 1 egg in and then the rest be egg whites. Sprinkle some cheese on there. Non-dairy cheese or Sargento, whatever. Try to stay away from dairy because of inflammation, but I have to feel good, guys, because if I don't feel good, I don't do good, and I don't live good. So, like I said, it's a meal-by-meal walk, not a day-by-day walk. And I want to do better at logging my food in. I have a happy planner that I use for food log that I've shared with you guys in the past. You know, the vertical. And, you know, so Monday, then you have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Because happy planner vertical, you get the 3 boxes. Perfect. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. And I don't log in snacks because a snack would just be a few bites out of an Atkins bar. A snack would be 3 cups of air popped popcorn, organic air popped popcorn, which is like 80 calories, the ones that I have. So I don't even log that in. But popcorn is also a carbohydrate that can be converted into sugar. I forgot about that. So I gotta watch, you know, the popcorn. Popcorn is optional. I don't eat popcorn every day. I eat it when I feel a certain way and I want a snack, or I'll eat the late July chips. I'll eat a little bit of that. So I've got to make sure that I have room every day for a starchy carb if I feel a certain type of way. There's got to be room for popcorn. Or late July chips, or oatmeal. Oatmeal would be my favorite choice, but because it's thick, you know, and it will get rid of hunger and it'll get rid of nausea a lot better than eating popcorn, because popcorn is light and airy, you know. So that's something that just has to be tweaked every day. All right. So how can I set myself up for success today? Mindset, thinking positive, having a goal, having a vision, and sticking to it. Gary is not a big carb eater. I know I showed you guys 3 loaves of bread, but that was 647 bread, and then Gary has his regular bread. So it's like Gary's not big on French fries. He's not big on cakes and pies. He's not big on bread unless it's a sandwich, you know. So it would be easy for me to totally transition out of that because I don't have to worry about him tempting me. Gary's the type of person where just give me a Big Mac or give me a quarter pounder. I don't have to have fries unless I'm craving fries. All right, so that'll make it easier for me. All right, and then it says here, okay, this is for morning, and then evening. I probably won't do morning and evening. I'm going to do it all at one time and get it over with. One thing that made me smile. Oh, okay, I see why. Yeah, I better follow the directions. Okay, one thing that made me smile today. Well, hope that I got from my primary care physician today. What else made me smile? This is going to probably sound stupid, but Amber from Amber Plans Her Day. I believe she had a weight loss surgery like 2 years ago or something like that. I could be wrong, but she has lost an enormous amount of weight. I mean, she was a very large woman, right? Like she looked like she was just suffering. I would think to me, she looked like she was like 500 or 600 pounds. Like she could be on like she was heading toward being on a show like My 600-Pound Life. And she is thin as a rail. All she has is breasts now. And I can only imagine the joy that she feels right now. I can only imagine, you know, how happy and how liberated and how on top of the mountain she feels right now. You know, because she's a wonderful woman, loves the Lord, adopted a house full of kids, running her own business, taking trips around the world. No matter what her size was, Amber kept going. She kept moving forward. She didn't let her weight hinder her from living. She still had Amber Plans Her Day, you know, and she deserved it. She didn't turn into a bee. She didn't turn into a snob. She's still Amber. The only thing that's different now is that you see pictures of her more than you did before. Now she's like Mojo. When she does her thumbnail, her picture is included, you know? And she probably didn't include her picture before because she probably knew she'd get a lot of slack. She might get some ignorant people, you know? Or maybe she just didn't feel comfortable, but she finally feels comfortable enough to include her picture in her thumbnail. And it's like, wow, you know, Jesus really worked a miracle for her. He really did. And it made me smile. I was just so friggin' happy for her, you know? So freaking happy for her. Okay, so what would have made today greater? If I answer that question, it's going to be unrealistic. What could have made today greater? It's not going to be realistic, but I will be honest with you. What would have made today greater would have been if my doctor would have said, I'm prescribing Mounjaro for you and it will be ready tonight for you to pick up. That's what would have made today greater. And I'm just being honest. It doesn't say that this has to be realistic. The best part of my day, well, I'm not finished with my day, but thus far, the best part of my day is coming to terms with accountability. I know some people would say, how can that be the best part of your day? But coming to terms with accountability was the best part of my day, because it put the control back in me. It empowered me, and my doctor, you know, just, you're not a hopeless case. You just got to do this. Just stop. You know, him putting the accountability in my lap the way that he did, that was the best part of my day, because it gave me motivation and it gave me strength for the day. And it helped. And I feel like today is day one of another journey, you know, and I feel like that is Jesus leading the way. I feel like Jesus is definitely involved. I know Jesus is definitely involved. Will I have type 2 diabetes in 3 months like Nee said I would? I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously. You know, I don't think, matter of fact, I know he does not have the authority to prescribe Mounjaro for me if I do not legally have type 2 diabetes. He prescribed Jardiance, but I am not picking it up, and I'm not picking up the statin. You know, and I scheduled an appointment with Ross next Thursday while I'm in Ocean City, and I will talk to him there at the beach, and I will tell him, you know, this, check the notes, but this is what Nee had, that's his nickname, Nee, N-E-E, had prescribed, and I need to know how you feel about it. And I talked to Craig about it, and this is what he had to say. You know, and I can guarantee you guys that he's not going to be in approval with it. So that's how that looks. And my reflections are, there is no short way home. Stop trying to cut corners and face accountability. Because if I had not tried to cut corners and talked to Ross instead of talking to Nee, then, you know, none of this would have ever happened. And I would not have taken too much progesterone last night and got sick. You know, when I totally forgot that I can't, that 200 milligrams is too much in my system. I forgot, you know, and it was like, you got caught up. You got caught up. You know that you can't take that much. You know it'll make you feel really bad. And it did. You know, but I fell asleep. It's out of my system. I'm not going to take any progesterone tonight. I'm going to skip tonight. You know, but, you know, that's it. That's my reflection. There is no shortcut home. And there is no easy way out. And I thought I had learned that lesson, but I guess apparently I didn't, because I was trying to avoid accountability with Ross. And that's the bottom line. And the fact that this guy said, I'll call you at 5. Well, guess what, guys? I got a phone call appointment with Ross next Thursday at 4. 4 o'clock. What's one more hour early? 4 o'clock. I will be awake at 4 o'clock. So not only is this just about the phone call coming late and the convenience of having Nee's cell phone, it is also the accountability of facing Ross. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell Ross everything I'm telling you guys. Everything. And let him know that. And I'm not going to do that to try to make him feel bad. Like, Ross, you need to give me your private cell phone number or your business cell phone number. You know, I have his son's business cell phone number. That would be like a low blow, but it's just, I'm just sorry. I'm sorry that I did that. You know, I'm sorry. There was nothing that Nee could do that Ross couldn't do. It's simple as that. So I'm putting my big girl panties on. Putting them back on. and I'm going to wear them. And I'm going to keep them on. So that's it, y'all. I didn't mean to talk so long, but again, this is a Chatty channel, and I'm going to put it in the description or with the thumbnail. Chatty. This is a Chatty channel. You know, if I didn't talk to you guys and Jesus, then who else would I talk to like this in such detail and depth, you know? So that's it. I'm out. Y'all have a good one, and I will, God willing, see you in the next one.